Hi everyone, my name is John and welcome to Soft Flow Yoga. It's a 60-minute gentle yoga practice. So for our practice today, we're going to focus on a pose that's called Half Moon Pose. Now Half Moon Pose incorporates many things. One, it's a balancing posture and it works our legs too. So some balancing and some leg work will be some ways that we'll be working our way up to this particular posture. Now for our props today, you're going to need some things. And as always, we like to have a nice soft blanket that you can sit on and kneel on. So something soft. You might want to have a yoga strap or a belt, something like this. That's going to help us with some of our hamstring work, okay? Because we want to stretch out those hamstrings. So if you don't have a yoga strap, you can grab a belt, a jump rope, a tie, anything like that. Just something long that you can use. And then a couple of yoga blocks. We use those for a couple of our postures as well. It actually could help with our balancing posture half moon, but we have another prop that's going to help with that. I also have my handy bolster. Sometimes this is used, but I like to have it just in case. It's not always used in practice. And you can also see I have my chair near me here. So this is what I'm going to be really use for that half moon pose. It's a pretty dynamic posture. We'll break it down and we'll use this as a way to help with the balance and stability. So stand near a wall, table, chair, anything like that once we get to that posture. So I'm just going to move my chair out of frame. And I'll join you here in seated and we'll begin. So just sit up nice and tall. Just sit on your nice soft cushion or folded blanket. Just find some length in the spine. Check in with your shoulders. You might want to roll your shoulders a few times. Roll them up and down and back. And start with your breathing. So a nice full breath in through your nose. Exhale completely through your nose or out through your mouth. And do that a couple of times just to get reacquainted with your breathing. Just to get more in tune and connected with your breath, go ahead and inhale and just feel your breath rising upward and feel your lungs expand. Then as you exhale, draw your navel inward toward your spine. And this is a light engagement of what we call the abdominal lock. You're just contracting your abdominal muscles here. You don't have to do it too strongly, but just an awareness of just pulling inward. So again, as you inhale, just feel the breath rising. Nice expansive breath as you fill up your lungs. Followed by that exhale, draw belly in. Just the awareness of your center body. This is good awareness here since we will be doing some balancing. So that's how we can really help the body balance, is feeling in control, feeling strong in our center, our core. Just continue with your breathing in and out. Really tuning in. This is our breathing meditation as we arrive. Take note of how you're feeling, what's going on in your body. Even take note of what you might be needing from your practice today. Slow, steady breaths. A wonderful way just to get in tuned and connected, to be fully aware, fully present. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths. And these breaths, a way to prepare your body to move, and we'll start a very simple movement. When you're ready, an inhale to extend your arms out across the room and then all the way up towards the ceiling. A nice stretch. Then as you exhale, extend your arms outward and feel as if you're going to touch the walls on either side of you, bringing your arms back down by your side. Let's do that again. Inhale, reaching out all the way up, reaching through the fingertips, and exhale. Now go ahead and continue on your own. Breathe and move at your own pace. And what you'll want to pay attention to is the energy that you're putting into these extensions of the arms, really reaching. Good effort, again, feeling like you're going to touch the walls, touch the ceiling. And you're moving with the pace of your breath, so pay attention to what your body is doing and how it's feeling as you are in motion. Notice how your shoulders are moving. Notice the lengthening through the sides of your body, especially when you reach up into the air. Now we're still breathing in that same fashion, so when you inhale, the breath is still rising to fill your lungs. And then when you exhale, even though the arms are coming down, you want to feel like the breath is still uplifted in the body. And that's why we create the abdominal lock. So you're exhaling to connect to your center. All right, finish the breath that you're on and just take one more breath after that. And when you're complete, you can just bring your arms back down by your side and just come to a resting space. Come to stillness. Take a breath. While still seated, you're going to bring your hands behind you. Just prop yourself up onto your fingertips, both arms behind you. And with the arms behind you, also feel your shoulders draw back. That might take some effort to kind of pull them back a little bit. And then tip your chin up slightly as well. We're just making some space across the chest as we take this seated position, creating a mild back bend. Now here's the action. You'll inhale, press into the floor with the fingers, feel the breath rising, filling up your lungs, but you might also feel an energy rise up through your arms and shoulders. When you exhale, draw your belly in, and if you're able, squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Again, breathing in, filling up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly in. Now with all of this action in the body, even though it doesn't look like you're doing much, you can certainly feel the effort you're putting into this pose. Now just to make a point here, with the shoulders drawn back as they are, now this is going to come in handy once we get into our half moon pose. There's something quite related to kind of rolling the shoulders back and really feeling the heart open. Take 2 more breaths here. And then just lower your chin so your neck is neutral. And you can walk your hands towards yourself so you're sitting up nice and tall. And again, just let your hands rest in your lap. Take a breath. Return to stillness. Notice how the body calms after being in that engaging position. So that was our back bend. Let's take our forward fold. We're going to position our legs and feet so they're in cobbler's pose or bound angle. So the soles of the feet are touching. It's called bound angle because we're holding on to our leg. That's the binding part. And angle because the legs are bent at an angle. And that's it. Now you might want to use your blocks, or if you got some books or some small pillows, you can just tuck them underneath your legs if you'd like, right here. Just so your legs feel resting, feel like they are resting as they're opening. Go ahead and hold on to your ankles or shins. We'll inhale, sit up as tall as you can. Again, breath rising, filling up your lungs. Keep that uplifting sensation as you exhale, draw belly in. And with that action, we start to hinge forward slightly, leaning and leading with the heart and chin like that. Hold here for a moment. I even changed my hand position, so I'm just kind of scooping up my toes here. Inhale, keep extending through the spine at this new angle. Exhale, draw belly in. That's another way to support your body as you're in motion. And I'm just hinging forward a little bit more. You can keep the back flat and long like this, but you're also welcome to lower your chin slightly and even round your back a little bit. It actually creates a little bit more space, so you can fold a little deeper if you want to. And what it does is create some nice flexion or stretch quality in the back, and maybe you're needing that today, so that might feel really good. In addition to your inner thighs getting a little bit of a stretch. This is nice too, because we're going to be doing some leg extensions. We might even do one right here before we get to the next part of our poses. Some deep breaths. Filling up your back body, just as when we were kind of up and maybe leaning back, we breathe into the heart space or front body. So as we're folded forward, just see if you can feel the back expand with each inhale. And then exhale, still drawing belly in. Take one more breath here. And if your back is rounded, go ahead and just lift your chin a little bit to re-extend your spine. That should do it. You can even press your hands into the floor to help assist your body as you come up to a tall seated position. Now let's stay here for a moment. Let's go ahead and extend the legs. I'm going to move my blocks to the side. Go ahead and extend your legs and come to staff pose. Just place your hands on your blanket or the mat right next to your hips. Push into the floor as a way to help assist the elongation of the spine. Once again, you want to feel the shoulders roll back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together so we're still activating the body. Even through the legs, so as you're able, flex your feet. You want to feel like your heels are moving forward. And your legs are as straight as can be, but it's okay to have a slight bend in the knees. So this nice L shape that we've created in the body, this is staff pose. And even here, at least for me, I'm already feeling this action in the legs. They feel like they're really working, okay? And so we want to have that sense of strength and energy in the legs as we build up to our half moon pose. Take two more breaths. And after that second breath, you can just soften and relax, and we'll make a transition to our hands and knees. Just going to swing around here. Now you might want to use something soft to kneel on. I've got my blanket, I've unfolded it here with my knees and hands on this nice rectangular shaped space. Cat and cow. Starting with a cow pose, we inhale and lift the chin, look forward, open the chest, feel your back arch like you're doing a back bend. Your pelvis will tip back, and that is our back bend. That's cow. Then when you exhale, tuck the pelvis under, feel your belly button pull up towards your spine. Feel the back naturally round, chin to chest. There we are. That's cat pose. I'm going in slow motion just to demonstrate, but just go at your own pace as you feel this nice undulation through the spine, creating that back bend in cow and this rounded position in cat. Pay attention to the rocking sensation of the pelvis. It's a very simple movement of the body, but I think it's so beneficial just to get some mobility through the whole spine and back body, and in particular your pelvis, because sometimes it can feel pretty stiff. Finish this breath and take one more. And just pause in a neutral tabletop position. Keep your gaze directly downward, just between your thumbs perhaps. Make sure your neck is still quite long. Take a breath. And if you are using a blanket or some other pad, let's go ahead and crawl off of it and set it to the side so we can set ourselves up for downward facing dog. Just come back out to hands and knees. Right here, let's step the hands forward so they're out from underneath the shoulders. Spread out your fingers pretty wide, and just press firmly into the mat with the palms. Even grip your mat with your fingertips. Just feel a little extra connection there. When you press into the mat, it will flatten your palms. It just stretches the hands open. And also a little extra pressure towards your thumbs and index fingers. With that, you might even feel an energy in the inner arms. This is all good for strength and stability. Once you have that solid connection, tuck your toes. We'll do one more cat-cow. Inhale, lift head and heart, arching the back. Exhale, round it out. Here's cat pose. Hold cat pose for a second. Here, now lifting your knees into the air. Lifting the hips into the air. You might need to tiptoe forward a little bit as we move into downward facing dog. Hands feel firm on the mat, still hug to center line, straight, strong arms. Relax your head. You might even nod yes a few times, shake your head no. Now with the legs, you can bend your knees here. This should allow some good mobility in your hips. Feel like your hips can continue to lift up into the air. Let's just take one more breath here. And then we'll
take a step, or actually a few steps forward until we're standing in the center of the mat, feet firm on the mat, and then slide your fingers towards your toes, and you'll be in a deep forward fold. We'll inhale here, slide your hands up to your shins or knees, and extend your spine, pausing here in half forward fold. Now, here I want you to feel, perhaps, that energy in the hamstrings. You can keep a good bend in the knees, that's fine. But because of this posture, your body's going to automatically try to hold you in place so you don't fall over. You're automatically, involuntarily engaging your core. That's just happening. And then your hamstrings are doing the same, just automatically engaging to hold you in place. Again, feeling very strong here. We want that strength in the legs. Now, shifting your weight into your heels, bend your knees like you're about to sit down into a low chair. Start lifting your chest, looking forward, and spread your wings out to the side as you inhale and grow tall. Reach up into the air and just treat this like a great stretch. Yes, exhale, bring your arms down to your side, finishing that flow. Let's take a moment here to get back into our shoulders, or just remind us of the shoulders here. We already did some arm movement up and down with the arms, but now just some circles. Roll them back a few times, roll them forward a few times, just like that, just to kind of loosen them up. Let's do another half salute to the sun. That's just a forward fold, and we come right back up. Here we go. Inhale, extend the arms up into the air. Strong straight line. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, and sit back into your imaginary chair. There's a weight shift into your hips and heels. Bring your belly down to your thighs. Let the hands drop. Let your head drop. And there we are. We've landed in forward fold. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees. Extend your spine. Pause at that flat back. Half forward fold. Hold here for a moment so you feel that automatic action of your core and hamstrings. Shifting weight now into your heels. Bend your knees. Tip chest up as you spread your wings once again. Grow tall with an in-breath, reaching a little higher as you're able. Exhale, arms return to your side. There we are. Let's go ahead and roll the shoulders. There we are. All right, let's do our variation of Warrior One, and I'm going to add something to that posture. Because we'll be doing some leg work, I thought we'd do a Warrior One and a triangle pose, okay, in a variation manner. So let's start in mountain pose here. Nice and tall. Soft knees. Start shifting your weight into your right foot. Press firmly into the floor. Again, that energized leg. Feel tall up top. Inhale. Exhale, draw belly in. Connecting, feeling strong, so we can just start tapping this left foot back, heel lifted, toes flexed, until the leg just kind of naturally stops. It doesn't go any farther. And there doesn't have to be too much distance between the feet. We're going to pivot this left heel to the floor, shifting so you're center right here, right between the feet. And we'll keep those knees soft, especially that front knee. Place your hands on your hips. You're going to push your pelvis downward, or simulate like you're pushing your pelvis downward as you get tall and lengthen through the upper body, your torso. And then turn forward. Now inhale and extend your arms up into the air. Exhale, let's bend the elbows to 90 degrees, something like this. And we'll just hold here for a moment. So this is our variation of Warrior One, just to introduce a sensation of lunging, okay, balancing with the feet apart. Okay, now we're going to get into a simulation of triangle pose. And what we're going to do here is extend the arms up into the air. Inhale. Exhale, bring your arms down. Bring your hands to your hips. Now what we're going to need to do is take a little bit more distance between the feet. I'm going to shift my weight forward into the front foot. Lift that back heel, even turn the toes so everything's facing forward here. I'm just going to step back just a tiny bit right there. Pivot that heel to the floor again. As I shift to center with the body, straighten both legs. Okay? Both legs are straight here, a little bit more distance between the feet. Now I'm facing you. You're just facing your left side of the room here, and reach out with the arms. Okay? To the front of the mat and the back of the mat. Now I'm just going to angle the upper body, reaching forward just a little bit, and that's all I need to do. I'm just going to rotate the arms. Bring the right hand down to maybe thigh or knee, while left hand reaches into the air. And that's going to be our simulated or variation of triangle pose. We will be doing this again. But let's actually rest this left hand. We're going to bring it down behind you. You can even bring it to left hip or bring it to your low back, but loose enough in the shoulder here so you can roll this left shoulder back and pull back. Now let's imagine something. Imagine there was a wall behind you, and that left shoulder, the back of that shoulder is just, you just want to plug it into the wall, okay? So we're at this angle, tipped over with this right leg straight, maybe a gentle, hopefully a gentle hamstring stretch. Torso is very open to the left side of the room, and what's helping with that is this left shoulder's rolled back, plugged into the imaginary wall behind us. All right, let's come out of the pose. Let's re-extend this left arm up, right there, so reach up and down. Come back up here with arms parallel to the floor. Now bring hands to hips, turn to face forward. Let's soften those knees. Shift weight into this front foot. I'm kind of launching a little push to step forward to the top of the mat. We'll finish with an inhale, both arms up into the air. Exhale, arms to your side. All right, so a variation of Warrior One and a variation of Triangle Pose. Let's do the other side. Soft knees to begin. Start shifting weight into the left foot. Press firmly into the ground. Just feel the energy and strength of that left leg. Inhale, feel tall. Exhale, draw belly in. Now I'm just picking up the right foot, tapping it back, heel lifted, toes flexed. Here is fine. Pivot right heel to the floor. Shift, plug right into center, soften your knees. Hands to hips. Press pelvis down. Torso lifts up, making space in that midsection here so you can turn to face mostly forward. Here comes our Warrior One variation. Inhale, reaching into the sky. Exhale, bend elbows to about 90 degrees, and we'll hold here for a couple breaths. Now remember this sensation, because it will feel differently when we come to this pose the second time, which will feel and look different. All right, inhale, extend the arms up into the air. Exhale, bring the arms down, hands to hips. Now I'm going to, again, shift forward into this front foot. Peel that right heel off the floor, all 10 toes pointing forward. Carefully, even if it takes several taps, just take that right foot back a little bit. Just putting a little bit more distance between the feet. Pivot right heel to the floor. Solid, find center, but straighten the legs. Okay? Now our torso is facing the right side of the room, and we're just going to extend the arms out parallel to the floor. Ready for our triangle pose. Reaching out just to angle the upper half of the body just a little bit is fine. Rotate the arms so your left hand is coming down to thigh or knee, right hand reaching into the air. Even here, you want to imagine you're leaning back into a wall. So you feel like you're pretty flat. That's what I imagine, at least. Imagine like you're flat and maybe like a piece of wallpaper that's just kind of rolled right up and pressed into the wall. Let's bring this right arm down behind you. You can even bring it to right hip or to low back right here, making sure the shoulder feels loose enough so you can roll this right shoulder back, plug the back of the shoulder into the wall that's behind you or the imaginary wall that's behind you. Again, your torso is open to the right side of the room, just being aware if you're tipped and falling forward or to the ground. Okay? You want to feel open to the side of the room. Okay, these are all just little actions we're doing to prepare ourselves for half moon. Now, let's inhale and take that right arm back up into the air. Let's rotate the arms back to parallel. You can even soften this left knee a little bit. Let's bring hands to hips. Let's turn the torso forward. Rise up on the tiptoes, a little push to step forward. Both feet on the floor in front. We'll inhale, take both arms up into the air. And exhale, arms return to your side. Excellent. All right, I'm just going to quickly adjust my mat. We'll meet in mountain pose and we'll flow, making our way down. There we go. So going through our sun salutation, we'll introduce the body to those second versions of Warrior One and Triangle. Inhale, take the arms up into the sky. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, and sit back and down into that imaginary chair as you carefully and slowly fold. It could be a partial fold. You don't have to touch your toes at all. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs to help you extend the spine. Now on this exhale, bend your knees a whole lot. Let your back round, let your head drop, get low enough so you can place your hands on your mat near your feet, and then step both feet back, take a few steps back, to the back end of your mat until you're in plank pose like this. We're not going to be here too long. Breathe in. In the exhale, bend your knees like you're about to kneel down, but actually lift your hips up into the air. Adjust your feet by tiptoeing forward a little bit. You can even take your feet a little wider. Adjust your hands until you're in downward facing dog. Mimic what we did earlier. Spread out your fingers, press firmly into the mat, press more towards thumbs and index fingers, strong straight arms, shake out your head, soft knees, lift your hips. There's a lot going on. Inhale, let's pick up the right foot, extend the right leg straight back. We're going to hold here for a little bit because this is also preparing us for half moon. Half moon is you're standing on one foot and one leg is in the air like this. Breathe in again. Exhale, let's bend this right knee. Bring that knee in underneath you towards your chest, shifting your whole upper body forward. Shoulders over wrists. Set your right foot on the floor. Just your toes. It's fine. Your heel could be lifted, but we're doing that so we can set the left knee down. Now we're doing this just in case you could not get your right foot all the way to the top of the mat. This is a nice little pause point where we can actually go and get the right foot. So pick it up, place it up a little higher on your mat. Now we'll relift that left knee, pivot left heel to the floor. Now there's more distance between the feet as we set up for Warrior One. I'm kind of shifting my body weight back so I'm more centered here. Rising to fingertips to help extend spine. And then with an inhale, hinging your way up. You can even crawl your way up. You can bring your hands to your thigh, kind of press, assisting your own body until you're tall, and then we'll take the arms up into the air. Pause here with the exhale. Here's our second variation of Warrior One. Let's move on. Breathe in. Exhale, opening to Warrior Two. Hold here for a moment, arms extended. I like to make an adjustment with this back foot just by turning it out. It just feels better on my joints, knee and ankle. And I'm just going to put a little bit more bend in this right knee. And there's my Warrior Two. Hold here for a moment. We are going to turn this into triangle pose. So what we'll do, first let's just go ahead and relax your arms for a moment. Relax the shoulders. And we're going to pull back and so we can extend this right leg. So very straight in the legs, tall in the torso. Let's go ahead and re-extend the arms, gave them a little bit of a rest. Reach out, angled upper body. Now same thing, imagine there was a wall behind you and you're kind of sliding across the wall. And we're going to rotate the arms, just as we did earlier. This time there's just a little bit more distance between the feet. Now you can go a little deeper if it feels okay in your hips. But we're feeling that nice stretch in the hamstring. This time we will keep the left hand up into the air. But we still want to feel like the back of this shoulder, this left shoulder, is pressing back into an imaginary wall. You just want to make sure you feel quite open. Don't want to feel like you're falling down. I'm exaggerating this, okay? But you want to feel quite opened here. Let's take 2 more breaths. Now to come out of this pose, stay tipped over. You're just going to bend the right knee into a lunge. Use that as leverage to kind of tip yourself back up to a Warrior Two. Let's drop this left hand to thigh or even hip. And now extend the right hand up into the air. Just to get some length through the right side. We just call this reversed warrior pose. Reaching into the air. I'm really reaching, really stretching. All right, I'm going to come back to Warrior Two. What I like to do is do this little windmill action, bring this left hand up and over, turn my body so I'm facing forward with both arms reaching, and then fold. My hands are out in front of me to catch myself, rise up onto tiptoes behind there, and I'm in this runner's lunge. Pushing hands firmly into the floor so I can slide this right foot back, plank pose. Bend the knees slightly, lift the hips into the air, downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. Move when you're ready. Inhale, pick up the left foot, hold on the exhale. Extend, reach, even imagine you're pushing your left foot into a wall behind you. Hands are strong, arms are strong and straight. Breathe in. As you exhale, bend your left knee. Bring your knee in underneath you towards your chest as you shift your whole upper body forward, shoulders over the wrists, and set the left foot down. Again, this is only if you're unable to get the left foot up near left hand. We're bringing the right knee gently down to the floor, taking the weight off this left hand so I can go pick up the left foot and step it up a little higher. Relifting the right knee, pivot right heel to the floor, pulling back to get more weight in that back foot, rise up to fingertips so I can lift my torso to help extend it. The crown of my head is pointing forward. A good bend in this left knee. I'm going to crawl up the leg. I'm going to bring one hand, then two hands to my thigh and press to help lift myself up. Then take both arms up into the air right here. Hold. Here's our second variation of Warrior One. More distance between the feet. You'll feel this. Straight arms straight up in the air. Moving on. Breathe in. Exhale, opening to Warrior Two. Again, I like to adjust that back foot, turn it out, just so my leg feels natural. Good bend in this left knee. Then we're going right into triangle pose. I'm going to actually relax the arms just so the shoulders can relax. Let's extend this left leg. Feel tall as that leg kind of pulls up. I'm going to feel the energy of the torso lift up. Re-extend your arms. Reach out to angle the upper half of the body. Rotate the arms here. Left hand, it's just kind of resting on the thigh. It could even be inner leg, while the right hand reaches into the air. Again, imagine there was a wall behind you that you're leaning back into, the back of your head, your upper back, and this right shoulder. So here's our triangle pose. If you're not feeling too much, maybe tip a little bit more to create that sensation you desire in the left hamstring. Now, you don't have to go too deep into this pose at all. We're really breaking things down. Let's stay tipped over. Put a good bend in this left knee. Nice lunge to give us leverage so we can tip our way back up through a Warrior Two. Right here, you can even rest this right hand on your right thigh or hip, and then take left hand up into the air. Reach with some dynamics so we have a nice lengthening sensation through the left side of the body. Take a breath. We'll come back up. Pause in our Warrior Two. Here comes our windmill. I like to bring this right arm up and over, face forward, both arms forward, and then fold forward. Catch myself with my hands, rise up onto tiptoes behind, push into the floor with the hands, so there's good stabilization there. Pull that left foot back. There's plank, strong straight line. Let's bring knees to the floor. Sit back briefly in hero. Sit off to the side, swing legs around to the front. Now sit in the center of your mat. We're going to lie down, but be sure you have some books or blocks nearby. We want to get into our back bend. We're going to do some more seated postures. You want to have your strap available. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. I'll meet you there. Welcome to draw your knees into chest, just to add a little massage for your low back. And let's get set up for our bridge. Let's set the feet onto the ground. Now, you'll inhale, make sure you got your blocks. Inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, connect to your center. And then lift your hips high enough so you can slide your books or blocks underneath you and just sit. Right here, very relaxed. Because you don't have to engage too much since you're just sitting. But what I like about it, there is this kind of this mild opening in the whole front body. Just adjust your arms, adjust your feet. So we can just hold here for several breaths, allowing the body to open up in this direction. It's a mild back bend, a supported bridge pose. I like to think of back bend, especially this one, as a counter pose to sitting. Okay, think of your body in a chair, sitting in a chair. Okay, there's some things can really tighten up in the upper thighs, your hips, your low belly. And so just kind of doing the opposite movement like this, you can start to stretch things out. Alrighty. Breathing in, we're coming out of the pose. As we exhale, you have a choice here. You can lift your hips and remove both blocks. If you have two, I'm just going to remove one block. I'm going to stay on a block. Now I'm replacing that one block with a strap. Grab the strap. I'm bringing the feet in a little bit because my feet were wide. I'm just bringing them in. We're going to do some leg extensions here. So I'm going to just draw the right knee towards my chest. Now if you're on a block and if it doesn't feel right, just remove the block and just lie on the floor. Okay, or use a block if you'd like. I'm just unrolling my strap here and wrapping the strap around my right foot so I can extend the leg into the air. And just holding onto the strap so I can get a nice extension. And it's okay if there's a bend in the knee, but flex the foot. Actually, the foot will be naturally flexed, but do a little extra energy of sending your heel towards the ceiling. So you just kind of feel that effort of that leg extension. Okay, just a continuation of setting ourselves up. We've done several things already. We did that seated staff pose, triangle pose 2 ways, and now this leg extension. We only have to add balance and then we'll work into our half moon. Let's bend this right knee, remove the strap, set the foot onto the floor. Quick rest, just a breath is good. We'll draw the left knee in so you can wrap your strap around it. And extend this leg. Same thing. I'm just holding onto the strap, feeling the heel reach up towards the ceiling. Straight-ish leg. You can have a softness in the knee, which I do recommend. Now what I'm doing, I'm just giving this strap a gentle tug so it feels like my toes are going over my head towards the wall behind me. Not too much, just enough where I can feel, okay, there's some action in the hamstrings. I feel that stretching a little bit. You don't have to force that at all. Just enough. We don't want to overwhelm the body. We're already doing quite a bit for the body in our yoga practice. But I think, especially in a soft flow class that, in which we're doing right now, moving slowly and gently and even kind of mildly doing some of our poses can still be quite effective without overwhelming or overstimulating the body. Okay, let's bend the knee. Let's release the strap. Let's set the strap to the side. We're done with that. Both feet are on the floor so you can lift the hips and remove that final block and come down and rest here for a few seconds. We're going to come to seated. Now you can draw your knees into chest and rock your way up to seated, or you can do this. You can follow me. I'm just rolling to one side and then just pressing myself up to a seated position. Let's do one more staff pose. Straight legs, hands on the floor by hips. Push to lift and lengthen through spine, which you may also do. You can stay just like this. If this feels fine, stay here, or maybe bring your hands to your legs and hinge forward a little bit. You can even bring in that strap again. Wrap the strap around the feet and just fold forward. But again, not forcing it. Even this, for me, I can feel this. 2 more breaths. And then soften the body. I'm going to rise back up. I'm just going to swing. I'm leaning to one side, just swinging the legs back behind me, coming to hands and knees. Let's do 2 cat-cow flows here. So an inhale to tip chin up, arch the back. Exhale, round it out. Do that one more time. Okay, now when you come to cat pose the second time, hold it. Tuck toes. Step hands forward, lift knees and hips. You'll be in downward facing dog. Find the posture, make the adjustments as needed, and then start stepping forward, both feet coming perhaps to the center of your mat. Slide your fingers toward your toes. Here's our forward fold. All right, we're going to stand. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Feel like you're sitting in a low chair, kind of extending through the spine, lifting the head. Now spread your wings. Grow tall. Inhale, reach into the air, and exhale, arms to your side. Very nice. All right, let's practice some balance. We're going to do tree pose. Now this is where you can actually use your wall, table, chair, something that's going to help you stabilize. This will be kind of the last setup piece that we'll need before we move into our half moon pose. So I'm just folding my mat like so I can bring in my chair here. Okay, so let's do tree pose. Let me see if I can mirror you. So this will be our left side over here. So start shifting your weight into your left foot. Okay, so follow me. You're into your left foot. Feel nice and tall up top. Inhale, feel the breath rising, fill up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly in. We're going to pick up the right foot. I'm just bending the knee and lifting it. You can even hold on to the knee with your hand. We're just going to take it out to the side like this, okay? And then maybe just placing the foot on the inside of the leg. Now you can see my foot went right to my knee. I normally would not suggest that. I'm actually going to slide it down past the knee to my calf. But I'm really kind of holding on to the leg here. All right, or you could slide it up above the knee, placing foot on the inner thigh. This is more bendy in the knee, and you can still hold on to the leg. But this might be too high, which is fine. You can always bring it down low. Alrighty, keep the hand here. The other hand's on your stabilization object, like your table or chair. Hands can stay just like this, or whatever hand is free, take it up into the air. Maybe both hands are free and you can take both arms up into the air. Alrighty. So why balance? Okay, we're doing tree pose because half moon is a balancing posture. So just getting that sense of balancing on one foot. Alright, let's bring this free arm down. We're going to swing this right knee forward. We're lifting the knee, maybe the thigh comes up to parallel with the floor, and then press the foot into the floor, balanced on 2 feet. Let's go ahead and take both arms back up into the air, just to lengthen and realign the body. Exhale, arms return to your side. Alrighty? Now I'm just going to turn around so we can do the other side. Alright, this time we're shifting weight into the right foot. Press, feel tall with an inhale. Fill up the lungs. Exhale, draw belly in. I've got the support of my chair, so I can pick up the left foot. Knee is parallel or thigh is parallel to the floor. I can hold on to it so I can keep it lifted and just bring it out to the side. Now you could just hold it here like this, but as you're able, placing foot on the inside of the leg. Up to inner thigh or below the knee at your calf. You can just keep this left hand here on the leg. Or if it feels okay, go ahead and extend this one arm, maybe both arms up into the air. Get this nice extension through the body. Feel the rooted nature of your left foot. It's actually your right foot into the ground. Standing, balancing. A nice extension through this uplifting arm. Let's go ahead and bring that arm back down. We're going to swing the knee forward, lifting the knee with the flexed foot. Maybe that thigh comes to parallel. And we'll place the foot back down onto the mat, balanced on 2 feet. Inhale, take both arms up into the air. And exhale, arms return to your side. Excellent. Alrighty, so I think we have all the elements. We've done some core work just to activate the breath, Uddiyana Bandha, the abdominal lock. Did some leg stretches, got into our shoulders. Hamstrings, balance. Now, let's see. We can do this 2 ways. I'm actually going to spin my chair around so that the seat is going to be my stabilization marker. You can always go up a little higher. It could be a wall, table, or the back of a chair, like this. Now, follow me. Facing the object that you're going to be balancing on, table, chair, I'm going to be using the seat of the chair. I think this should work out just fine. So mountain pose facing that object. Soft knees. Go ahead and inhale and take both arms up into the air. Follow me. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, and just come to a forward fold. Go all the way down towards toes. It can still be a partial fold. Now inhale and slide your hands back up the legs to knees or shins. Pause here so we're doing our halfway lift. Now we're going to change where our hands are. If a seat is nearby, just place your hands on the seat of the chair. If you have something higher up, just bring your body up, okay? And just kind of lean into that object. Just let your body be supported by this object. Now we're going to balance on the right foot. Knees are still soft. Put some weight into the right foot. Root, okay? Think about how we set up for those variations of Warrior One. I'm picking up the left foot and I'm tapping it back until it just kind of naturally stops. I'm just dancing on my tiptoe back there. Okay? So it's light, so you can see I can lift it. We are now turning this into balance. Flexing this left foot and starting to float it up into the air. It really doesn't have to lift very high, just away from the ground. Keep it energized, pushing through the heel. Wherever your hands are, just feel supported here. Now, I'm flexing this foot and continuing to lift the leg. But what's also happening here, I'm starting to turn my torso towards the left side of the room. My left hand is a little lighter on the seat, so I'm taking a firm connection on the seat here with my right hand, or palm, or whatever you're holding on to, and taking this left arm out to the side. Okay, so we've moved into, or starting to move into this half moon. I can really feel how I'm wobbly here, and it's okay if you feel kind of wobbly. We are balancing, and we're really relying on the stabilization of that standing leg. Now remember I talked about opening up so you're completely sideways. If you can open up more, go ahead and do so. But perfectly fine if the torso is more at an angle. Now we've been here quite a bit. So we're going to inhale, exhale. I'm going to bring this left hand back down to the chair, square out my hips, bring this foot down to the floor next to the other, kind of pushing away from the chair or object that you're balancing on. Bend the knees like you're sitting in a chair pose so you can release the hands, and then stand up tall, reach into the sky. Big stretch, arms to your side. Just take a little rest there. Alrighty, now if you really couldn't see me what we were doing, let me just quickly jump back into that pose. Okay, so I had my left foot lifted and I was just kind of opened up partially. Now what you could do, okay, now my right foot is pointing directly forward. I'm going to bring my left foot down. If I turn my right foot inward a little bit towards the left, just turning the leg inward, and do that same extension of the leg, opening up the body, you might find that you can open up all the way or a little bit more with that idea of leaning back into an imaginary wall. Okay, just like we did with those other poses. Okay, so we'll even try that when we get to the left side. Okay, so let's just start in mountain pose together, still facing the object that you're using to balance on. Here we go. Inhale, extend your arms up into the air. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, sit back into that imaginary chair and fold. A partial fold is fine, so hands can come down to your shins. Inhale, slide the hands up the legs until you come to that flat back. Keep the knees bent. Now we can place our hands on our balancing object, wall, table, or chair. Lean into it. Now, before we start balancing on the left foot, turn your left foot in, okay, inward towards the right, okay, and then put some weight into that left foot. Lean into your balancing object so I can start tapping the right foot back until you're just dancing on that big toe, and it's light. Flex the foot, right foot, and let it float into the air. Feel like you're pushing into a wall behind you. Now I'm starting to turn my torso and whole body towards the right side of the room, picking up that right hand and opening up. And because we turn that left leg and foot inward, you might have a little bit more space, and it's your pelvic area to help you open up a little bit more. Don't worry if you don't turn completely sideways, and don't even worry if you have to step out of the pose or lose your balance. This takes a lot of strength and energy. So again, wherever you are, even if you're kind of turned downward, still imagine you're leaning into a wall that's behind you. So this is our half moon pose, very dynamic. We're just using this balancing object to help with this pose. Okay, let's come out of the posture. Right hand to your balancing object. Let's bring that right foot down. I'm getting all 10 toes to point forward here. Leaning back into the heels, bend the knees like you're Getting into chair pose, so you can release your hands, free up your hands, and then stand up nice and tall. Reach up into the sky. And exhale, bring your arms down to your side. And there we have it. We've set ourselves up to move into half moon pose, which happens to be one of my favorite poses. Alrighty, now let's move our objects out of the way. I'm going to unfold my mat and just meet again in mountain pose. We'll just make our way down to come to the closure of our practice. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air, both arms. Exhale again, spread your wings, bend your knees, sit back and down into that imaginary chair. Fold. Partial fold is fine, or maybe touching your toes. Releasing head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, slide your hands up to the shins or knees, extending your spine. And exhale, fold again. Get low as you can so you can place your hands on your mat and walk both feet back end of the mat. As you're able, draw that straight line, plank pose. Pause. And then kneel. Bring the knees to the floor. Sit back briefly in hero, just getting off the hands. Sit off to the side. Swing the legs around. Sit in the center of your mat. Roll down onto your back. Give yourself another hug. A well-deserved hug. Go back to your deep breathing. With your exhales, you might even sigh. You did a lot of work. Okay, so we just want to release any tension that may have built up in that work we did. Start softening the body, softening the breath, and these gentle movements here. Even get into the feet and ankles. I like to circle the ankles here. Circle one direction, circle the other direction. Flex and point, and if you can, wiggle your toes. Let's take half happy baby pose. Actually, I'm sorry, a different name. Happy baby pose, but just a portion of the posture. Just taking the legs wide here. Instead of kicking the feet up towards the ceiling, just keep the feet pointing to the front of the room, but create that inner leg stretch. What I'm doing here with the hands is lightly pressing the legs outward and downward, very gently, not forcing that at all. And what I sometimes like to add here is imagine I'm on a horse that has bicycle pedals. Okay, so I'm just pedaling the bicycle, just getting into those hip sockets a little bit. And this might feel quite good after being, in that half moon pose where you have to kind of hold still and feeling the stabilization that's happening in the joints. All right, let's bring the knees back together. Let's take a twist. Let's send both knees over to the left side of the room. Right arm extends to the right. Let's take several breaths here. Nice deep cleansing breaths. That nice sigh perhaps with the exhale so the body can relax. Two more breaths here on this first side. When you're complete and ready, come back to center. Pause here in center. And then take knees over to the right side. As you're able, extend left arm out to the left side of the room. Now, if that doesn't feel quite right, you can just keep the left arm resting down by your side. Extending the arm outward does create a little bit more sensation for the chest, shoulder, maybe even in that low back. So just pay attention to how this feels for you, because you can always adjust it. Two more breaths. And then when you feel complete, let's make our way back to center. You can hug the knees in one last time. And then extend your legs straight out in front of you, just guiding your way into Shavasana. Your arms will just rest down by your side, palms up. Let everything Completely relax here. Just feel the body go heavy and let it melt into the ground. You're welcome to keep your eyes opened and just gaze softly upward, or you can close your eyes and take a journey inside. Your breath might be a little slower and softer, but you still want to be able to feel it and hear it. Continue to be aware of your breath, the continual relaxation of the body and your mind. Continue to be aware of your breath, but no need to move just yet. Just focus on your breathing. Nice full breath in. Exhale completely. As your body and mind continue to soften and relax here, feel free to stay here. Even as I end the class, as I end the practice, you can stay just like this if you'd like. Once again, return to the awareness of your breath. And with this awareness, take 5 slow, deep breaths. And with these breaths, we're just generating movement and energy as we prepare to move out of this pose. But once again, if you want to stay here a little bit longer in Shavasana, of course, you're very welcome to. As you're breathing in and out, just feel movement lightly return. Imagine or just feel in real time how breath is moving through your entire body. Breathing until you've generated enough energy to move the body. And when you do move, take your time. Start by rolling onto one side of your body, perhaps into a nurturing pose. You can pause here. And still moving very slowly, guiding your way up to seated. Here you might bring in something soft to sit on, like your blanket or pillow. And just as we started our practice, find a nicely extended spine. Relax your shoulders. Your arms are hanging heavily down by your side, hands in your lap. And just hold here for a moment. Take a breath. We'll just add one more movement. And inhale to extend your arms up into the air. And as you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. And just take one more breath into your heart space. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.
Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.